Take-Two Interactive has sold Private Division for an undisclosed sum, buyer to be disclosed relatively soon. The buyer purchased rights to all of its live and unreleased titles. Take-Two will continue to support No Rest for the Wicked. So, listen, we've been saying something here
talked
for a
about
while.
Take-Two quite a bit.
We have talked about Take-Two quite a bit. And I'm not going to lie. This sounds like some moves have been made. And the fact that they can't disclose the buyer right now leads me to believe that the only set of buyers that would not want this to just be disclosed would be first party platform holders. Now, we know that PlayStation is a broke bitch. So it's very unlikely that it was them. But there's one piece, there's just one thing. And let me scroll down on this image real quick. And I'll click the image. There's one thing here that leads me to believe that it might be Microsoft. Now, again, we have no idea. It's just making sense to me. I don't think there's any other buyers out there who would give a shit that they're known that they bought this at all outside of a first party platform holder. And I could tell you right now, if you look at the second game in that lineup, that game, my friends, is Outer Worlds 1. Who makes Outer Worlds again? Oh, that's Obsidian. Who owns Obsidian again? The point that I was going to make is Xbox is buying them because they're going to go ahead and get the original games rights. That's right. They will have the rights to Outer Worlds 1, which they did not. They own the IP, but they don't own Outer Worlds 1 because of the way it is. But they could have made any design in the motherfucking world and went ahead and put an X in the middle of the goddamn image.
No.
The image has an X in the middle, fam.
It does. It does.
Bro, I didn't even see the X. I was just going based off of Outer Worlds.
I can't unsee
Outer
it.
Worlds. Now I cannot see it. Now it's just a bunch of X's everywhere. I see X up there, X up there, X up there, X up there, X up there.
They're all over. It's like that triangle that has a bunch of triangles, and you got to find out how many triangles. There's a bunch of freaking X's in here.
Look, relatively soon. What's relatively soon? I don't know. Maybe at the Game Awards in December, which is relatively soon, is not within the month. It's a little more than a month. But
soonish,
bro, crushed it. Even though we're not thirsty for remakes and remasters, the Outer Worlds 1 at some point might be worth remaking before Outer Worlds 2 comes out. Now remember, Outer Worlds 2, even though we don't really think about it because it's very far away, it's probably a good number of years away, right? It's probably going to be a couple years into the next console life cycle before we get Outer Worlds 2, realistically speaking, right? Like Avowed is wrapping up in February, right? And then you would presume that the full force of that team will move over to this game. I mean, even though isn't there a separate team that did? I don't know if this the Avowed. No, Avowed is the Pillars team, right? Shit, maybe Outer Worlds is sooner than we think. I don't know, but I just feel like they the wouldn't let the first game get out of their hands, right? Imagine Sony bought this shit, right? And now they own the publishing rights to fucking Outer Worlds 1. And you come out with Outer Worlds 2, and Sony's like, oh, that's funny. We're we're re-releasing Outer Worlds 1 for PlayStation 5 Pro with the you get what I'm saying?
I agree with you. They can't let that slip away. But, going back to RC's comment, maybe they are trying to slim down the bigger purchase, right? Maybe they're buying a couple pieces off so that it doesn't seem as big of a purchase when they come
Yeah,
in
but
for
for
take
Microsoft,
two.
it's not Microsoft could just buy the whole building.
But
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
yes, I know that. I'm saying so it doesn't seem like a big layout, like they're buying another I mean, it's nowhere near, and it shouldn't be a problem for them to buy Take Two, but maybe they're just buying in pieces right now. I wouldn't if it were me in this situation, I wouldn't let this game go, right? So if anybody was buying it, even if it was up for sale, right? I will get in there and try to snatch it up. But it makes sense for Microsoft for Xbox to come in and go ahead and try to scoop this up. If they went ahead and made a deal with someone else without it being out there, that's a shady move. That would be a shady move. I don't see how, they would pass up on the opportunity to go ahead and scoop this up.
I mean, I feel like it has to be in my mind, it has to be Microsoft. When I look at the slate of companies that are out there, Activision is off the table. Xbox owns them, right? Bethesda off the table. Xbox owns them. So you have EA. Is EA gonna buy private division stuff? I mean, they do have their smaller game initiative, right? Doesn't EA have like a that's the one they do what the fuck with that guy? It Takes Two.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It Takes Two, right? From Joseph, whatever
Yeah.
his name.
They're so good.
Um, so It Takes Two is part of EA's, indie program. So could they have been the one to do this? Yeah, maybe they're buying it. Maybe they're going to sell off the Outer World. Maybe okay, okay. Maybe maybe whoever buys these people are buying them to get like this Kerbal, this whatever the hell that space shit on the corner that was like a big deal for a while, and maybe they're gonna sell Outer Worlds to Microsoft, the publishing rights to the first game, and then in that scenario, then what I would, then that would make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if they
Okay.
went ahead and they were somebody else was buying it, maybe in tandem with Xbox, working with them, say, hey, we're gonna buy this, but you know, we don't want to spend all this. Would you buy if we bought this, would you buy this? You know what I'm saying? Like so that they don't like nobody wants to buy a dead franchise for them, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you own like you're paying
Will you
for
buy us as a bundle? Is what you're saying.
yeah, like you're the people who are buying Private Division are getting everything that Private Division owns, right? Except I guess the only thing is the no rest for the wicked, right? That's staying under Take Two. Um, but outside of that, they're getting everything, right? So if they get everything, that means they're getting Outer Worlds, right? And obviously that has a cost associated with it. So in their mind, why am I going to pay for the publishing right to Outer Worlds, an old ass fucking game that we don't have a chance to make another one of, right? So I could see somebody coming to Microsoft and be like, "Hey, listen, we want to go ahead and buy these people. I mean, buy Private Division, but financially, it only makes sense for us if we can offload, this game to you. Would you guys do that?" Right? That's a possibility, right? So I don't know. This conversation got a lot deeper than I thought as
Well,
far as
when you
like the
don't know
possibilities, because I
exactly,
thought
yeah, when you don't know exactly what's taking place, there are like your mind kind of just runs with it.
how do you explain the X?
That's yeah, I was just about to say, like, I just see the X now.
Unless it's Twitter. Twitter getting
Maybe.
into the gaming space. I don't know.
Damn it.
I feel like it is, but I mean, look, it's time, right? It's time, right? We know that Satya has been, have said it. We just came out recently and said that we're buying new studios, right? We're buying more studios. Um, the thing about this, though, if I'm not mistaken, I guess this Kerbal, the space people at the end, I think Take Two owns them. I don't know if they come with that, but the other people, Private Division, you're just getting the IP, are you not? Like you're just getting the shit that they made. You're not getting like there's no studios associated with this, right? Let's read this shit, right? You know what? We spent all this time talking.
Let's click
Okay.
in. Let's
Let's
click
let's
in.
see let's
There
see
you
what he
go.
actually says over here. Zelnick on Private Division sale. Those projects were smaller. We're in the business of big hits. Oh shit. Wow. Okay. Publisher confirms sale of indie publishing label to undisclosed buyer following studio shutdowns this summer. Oh, wow. All right, let me see how long is this. Okay, it's relatively short. We'll just read it. All right. Take Two Interactive has confirmed the sale of Private Division for an undisclosed sum as it drops the indie focused publishing label to focus on larger projects. In statements alongside the publisher's latest financial results, the company confirmed another party has acquired not only the private label, the private division label, but also all of its live and unreleased titles. Take Two will continue to support Moon Studios' action RPG No Rest for the Wicked, which launched in early access on PC back in April. Hold on, let me just. I feel like I'm hearing an echo. So let me
Here, hold on.
unecho. Excuse me. All right. Oh yeah, echo's gone. Okay. So let me get back here. It says the publisher has not disclosed the buyer that now owns Private Division, but CEO Strauss Zelnick told GameIndustry.biz that it will do so relatively soon. Reports that Take Two was planning to close or sell Private Division first emerged in June, shortly after the news that it had reportedly shut down Roll 7 and Intercept Games, as well as laid off a number of staff. Private Division also reportedly dropped its publishing deal with Silent Hill 2 remake developer Bloober Team. Oh shit. When asked why the company has sold off the label and why it struggled, Zelnick told GameIndustry.biz it was part of larger plans to focus on the publisher's strengths in AAA and mobile. We made this strategic decision so that we could focus all of our resources on growing our core and mobile businesses for the long term. It's funny, mobile. We're really best at these big AAA experiences. We have the biggest intellectual properties in the interactive entertainment business, some of the biggest intellectual properties in the overall entertainment business, and to make sequels to existing beloved franchises as well as to create new hit intellectual properties is our mission. The team of Private Division did a great job supporting independent developers and almost to a one every project. What the fuck does that say? Hold the fuck on. The team of Private Division did a great job supporting independent developers and almost to a one every project they supported did well. Almost to a one. I don't know. That sounds fucked up. However, the scale of those projects was candidly on the smaller side, and we're in the business of making great big hits. There was confusion as to whether the aforementioned studios had actually shut down, with Zelnick claiming neither studio had technically been closed, although a WARN notice indicated that Intercept was due to close its doors in July following widespread layoffs at the studio. A Take Two spokesperson has now confirmed to GameIndustry.biz that both studios were closed prior to the sale of Private Division. The changes and layoffs at Private Division followed Take Two's announcement back in April, layoff 5%, blah, blah, blah. Great. Okay. So that's all we got there. So they really didn't go any deeper just
They
into the
didn't go deeper, but they were not sugarcoating anything. Um, yeah, wow, okay. They should have kept it like short and sweet.
well, I think ultimately, you kind of look at the situation and you see what they're good at, right? Like you got your Grand Theft, you got your NBA 2K, you got your, Borderlands, right? You got your Mafia, you got like your big games that they're planning to go ahead and do. Um, so I don't know, man.
Just it sounds like PlayStation talking. We don't need these small ass games. We don't give a crap.
I
Um,
mean, when I hear the focus on mobile and their AAA, I don't know, selling this off, I feel like just listening to how he said it, I don't know if Xbox would need this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Xbox would need this. I feel like Xbox would want to get Outer World, right? Like I feel like they would want to get the whole, like the entirety of their IP. Um so I don't know. It sounds like there's a lot of extra shit now. Will this shit be good in Game Pass? Yeah, but the studios are closed.
that's
So
what I
unless
was
they're
thinking.
bringing the
When I
studios back,
saw the picture, I'm like, okay, well, these can all just go right into Game Pass, right? Um, but I mean, they don't. The one thing that Xbox does so well is like put teams together that are a bit more cohesive, I want to say, more talented is what I really want to say. Um, that they go ahead and kind of know where it's lacking and what they need to go ahead and upgrade things. So I don't know that they will necessarily need to bring in the teams, right? That might be actually a better situation for them.
I think there is a difference though. Meaning not a difference to what they're saying, but I understand the mindset because, a place like Activision, they focus on these hits, right? They're focused on these big budget things. They focus on knowing that they're going to make things that are worth investing in because people love it, right? And they're good at making those games that people kind of fall in love with, right? Now, the thing is that Activision's big IP was Call of Duty, right? And the IP that people thought they loved, like a Crash Bandicoot or Tony Hawk and stuff like that, are fine and well and they're good, but you know, are they huge? Right? No. Right. That's why Activision kind of backed off, and that's why it works so well being with Microsoft now because they have access to all that IP. But that IP, even though is not as big as Activision wants to be able to make that game and make billions and billions of dollars, right? They're still big enough for Xbox to be like, hey, we're making a new Crash Bandicoot. Hey, we're making a new
Because yeah, especially because
exactly because
of
it works with
Game
Game
Pass, you
Pass.
want to go ahead and have enough games in there.
And we know
And
there is a new Tony Hawk being made, right? So we already know that that was greenlit. Tony Hawk
see,
said it.
okay, so that's the problem, right? When you go ahead and you see your money maker, right? And it's difficult to go ahead and kind of rationalize why you should be making anything other when you have something like Grand Theft Auto, right? Or you have something like Call of Duty. So there is also getting to the point where you need to go ahead and focus only on those games. Um, Grand Theft Auto wants to come out here and charge. Yes, they have a big game. They put a lot into it. Comes out every 10 years, right? And it's like I get it, but now they want it. potentially charge probably $100 for their next game. So sometimes because we don't see exactly what their numbers are, you don't know what is the reasoning really behind why they need to charge more for a game or to only focus on those big IPs, right? It may seem like you hear the name Take Two, and it's funny because we've talked so much about them getting scooped up by Xbox, and it's like people find it like such an impossible thing to think about when they picked up ABK, right? And ABK had to focus so much on Call of Duty because and they have so much IP, but they had to focus so much on Call of Duty because that was that, you know, big money that comes in like without a second thought, right? That was money that was kind of like secure in the bag, right? That was gonna they were gonna go ahead and make. So they can't necessarily, and they had to clean the house. There's so much more that goes into these studios than the eye can see, right? So who knows what's going on with Take Two really for them to go come out here and kind of get rid of something that was a part of who they are in wanting to charge more for their games. Yes, is it the value, but is it just the value?
So this is what I would say. Knowing knowing that Take Two had, have these big IP that they do. This is the thing. I think there's a certain moment in gaming that is now stopping.
Yes.
And that moment is the fact that there was a lot of people who came in and said, "You know what? We're going to do these smaller games too. We're going to help the indies out." But that's bullshit. It was never about helping the indies. It was never about, oh, my passion to help these people make the games of their dreams. This right here shows you that from the beginning that it was all bullshit. What were they looking for? They all saw that out of nowhere, some fucking indie will come out, make some random ass game, and it would just blow the fuck up and become the
Skyrocket. Yep.
next big fucking thing.
Yep.
And what they all these fucking people, whether it's EA or whether it's Take Two, who have these it's Ubisoft did it too, right? They all had these little fucking boutique divisions where it was all about fostering these smaller indies and hoping to get big results, right? So little payout, big results, right? That's what they all looked for, and not many of them did anything with it. I would say EA probably had the best shot with It Takes Two, which ended up selling like stupid amounts, like 20 million or like some stupid number, like huge, right? But Take Two just sat there and looked and said, "Okay, we've been doing this for how many years? We opened this up. We thought we might get a hit. We did all these years, and it did not equal anything substantial, right? So they're out, and that's just what it is. They went ahead, they tried it, nothing big came from it, so they booked, right? Outer Worlds, yeah, that was big. Baby, can you mute your mic real quick? I think it's doing the same thing. See. All right. So, yep, gone. So Outer Worlds, it was a hit, but guess what? Microsoft bought the company, right? So there's nothing for them to do there, right? They couldn't do anything with it going further, so they couldn't take advantage of it. That would have been their hit, right? That would have been the thing that they could have made another one as well and really push things forward with that game. But they couldn't. Now Xbox owns it. So excuse me, this was just their attempt to do it, and now it's all coming out. They're looking for the big hits. This is what they want, and this is what they're trying to push for. Um, that being said, I'm gonna take a chapter. We're gonna stick with Take Two because this is actually there's more stories that are involving them.
It's got it all
But
tied together.
yeah, but I just want to take a chapter because it is breaking away from this exact thing. So
Oh, Duke brought up A Way Out. That was that was really good.
that
See,
was a
but
great game, but I don't think it didn't do It Take Two numbers. It Take Two was
that's what he
huge.
was wondering if it sold, if it did fairly well. But see, this is again, it's just like once you start getting I don't know. For me, once you start and I maybe because I saw the pattern already with PlayStation, like where there's smoke, there's fire. You just that's all.